Don Prudhomme's Snake, Tom McEwen's Mongoose. Dragdom's fastest duo goes from the drag strip to your home. It's Mattel's Mongoose Snake drag set, just like the big ones. Funny cars, streaming speed. Get Hot Wheels Mongoose Snake drag set. Only from Mattel. And go with a winner.
Fuel funny cars, which are really dragsters with fiberglass bodies.
Why should you win with just because the guy's got a problem? I like to go over and help the guy go back and race him the next round and beat him. He says, well, why did you request help me fix my car? So I can beat you. That's what the people come here to see, right? And I'd like to see more people with this attitude.
Competition eliminator cars. Competition eliminator cars to the safety lane. Competition eliminator cars.
Was in a funny car that was going over 200 miles an hour. All that you did with the funny car was steer it. Either the car hooked or it didn't.
Drivers pilot the cars to fame and fortune, but the unsung heroes are the men in the pits. Some of these mechanics are Vietnam veterans who worked on battle-damaged equipment, a little different from tinkering around in the garage. The top drivers arrive in style. Their cars are delivered in trailers like thoroughbred horses. Champion fuel dragster Don Prudhomme knows his car from inside out. Has to. These vehicles are worth $15,000 to $20,000 apiece. They get tender, loving care and very close safety inspections. Taking a seat in the stands, we look down on the traditional pre-race parade of stars in review. This is the last time today they'll creep along at this speed. The automobiles aren't the only frames that catch the eye. The girls in the control tower will keep track of the cars and their times as the split seconds tick off on the chronodeck. No handheld stopwatch would be quick enough to measure these speeds, where a thousandth of a second can mean winning or losing. No, that car hasn't flipped its lid. You can tell a funny car by its fiberglass body that flips up over the frame like the top of a cigarette box. As the cars are lined up, last-minute adjustments are made to flame suits. The drivers don their masks, helmets, goggles, and attach their seat and chest straps. The cars are started by outside power sources. They carry no radiators, so that once started, there can be no delay in making the run. One of the most crowd-pleasing effects at a drag race is the burnout. A mixture of rosin and bleach is poured in front of the rear wheels. The car is moved into the puddle and full power applied to spin the wheels furiously. The results of this spectacular procedure assure clean, hot tires. Very often the ritual is repeated at the starting line, with an actual track of fresh, tacky rubber laid down to give the car a good gripping start. be able to get from 0 to 200 miles per hour in no more than 7.5 seconds. Whoa there. Hold it. You're out of your lane. Automatic disqualification. Drifting can be dangerous for both drivers. One holds up, seeing his competition has gone astray. Any car capable of speeds up to 200 miles per hour must have a parachute. And a car that can do better than 200 must have 2. In shooting this sequence, we used a new type of camera that slows the action down to 30 times slower than actual speed, giving you an idea of the terrific stresses placed on tires and car. Here it is, in ultra-slow motion. Look at that body flex. Here it is at normal speed, complete with supercharger and other high-performance items, right down to speed equipment suppliers' decals. Even the toddlers have their Hot Wheel sets. There are a lot of youngsters these days who dream of becoming drag stars, which means more than souped-up jalopies on a neighborhood street.
As you could tell by Don Prudhomme's comments and reflections, earlier this morning, when these pictures were taken, there would be little time for quietness at the track. When he arrived, these young fans were waiting. Don Prudhomme always takes time to visit with those who back him from the stands, and particularly the young people. He recognizes his sport for what it is. It is more than just acceleration down a quarter-mile strip, a test of speed. It's also a test of men.
Okay.
On this day, from here on, there'll be very little time for personal reflection. These are the funny cars. In effect, they are short version AA fuel dragsters with plastic bodies, and Don Prudhomme is everywhere today. He owns this car. It'll be driven by Jay Howell, and here Don turns crew member as he pours the solution down for Howell to burn in his tires, heat them up, and move into the starting line area. The funny car is capable of going over 200 miles an hour. It's very light. The bodies are made of plastic. Don Shoemaker has been one of the hot fellows all across the country, match racing and in the national competition as well throughout this year. Shoemaker's car is a Barracuda, and so is the car that Howell will be driving, a Barracuda. And Shoemaker has been very, very steady in all of the competition leading up to the funny car quarterfinals. Buster Couch is the starter. Watch him explode off that starting line. I mean, they leap out of there. At the top end, pulls away to a comfortable win, 7.07 seconds, elapsed time better than 210 miles an hour for the winner, Shoemaker. So Don Prudhomme, himself a winner just moments ago, watches his Barracuda lose in the funny car quarterfinals. In case you wonder why these are called funny cars, the reason for that's very simple. A few years ago, when they first came on the scene as an experimental class, the public address announcer called them a funny car. The name stuck. No one's come up with a better one yet. Now we see Bruce Larson and Bobby Wood. That's Bobby Wood, covered up by the smoke as he heats up his tires in a Chevy 2, the red one, really steaming things up. That Chevy 2 has crashed the power, incidentally. He'll be running in the near lane, and Bruce Larson and the Camaro will be in the far lane. They're ready to go. And it's Larson in the far lane, the winner, 7.16 seconds, 206 miles an hour. Bobby Wood, 7.22 seconds elapsed time. A close loser. Bruce Larson goes to the semifinals in the funny car. Now we go to the bomb. The white car is Leroy Goldstein. He was the first man to run a funny under 7 seconds. And here at Raceway Park in this meet, he has had 4 runs in less than 7 seconds in his funny car. Don Shoemaker in this blue and white machine has been so consistent, it's remarkable. The question is, will raw power in the Ram Chargers machine with Leroy Goldstein be enough? Or will the consistency of Shoemaker pay off? This event worth about $11,000 for the winner. Remember, the funny cars run on fuel, nitromethane, and alcohol. Same kind of stuff the top fuelers fly on. Here they go. Leroy Goldstein lost traction. You saw that big puff of smoke. His tires were spinning, and it was that fraction of a second that let Shoemaker get out in front and win it. Shoemaker's having trouble with his chute, got tangled up, but he holds it under control. And he pulls off the track. He's got a fire. There's a fire inside Don Shoemaker's car. The body is plastic. Shoemaker's outfit in a hurry. Up goes the hood. The extinguisher's on, and here comes help for him. Don Shoemaker has won the funny car championship. He has an extinguisher inside, and obviously when he first saw the fire, he popped it. They were quick there to help him. Excuse me? All right.
Kind of hot? Very.
What let go?
Well, we burned a couple of pistons, I'm sure, on the run. We blew some oil out of the breathers. Catches on fire on the headers, and then I hit the fire extinguishers.
Didn't hurt the climax, though. Victory's still sweet, isn't it?
That's for sure.
Incredible performance by the funny cars. There must have been moments when you wondered if you weren't kind of wandering around on the ragged edge during the whole meet.
We've been on the ragged edge the whole meet, I'm sure, all of us.
Well, you hung on, did a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
7 seconds flat, 215 miles an hour for Don Shoemaker. The top fuel final, Prudhomme and Nichols, coming up.
Funny car, the name given to the fuel-burning, plastic-bodied Frankensteins of the sport. Divisional champions like Ronnie Sox and his Barracuda, or Assassination, a funny car driven by John Decker, are guaranteed a place. Everyone else must qualify. Let it all hang out today, so you can do it again tomorrow.
It's funny car time, ladies and gentlemen.
The plastic-bodied replicas of Detroit Iron. Some 1,500 horsepower available to the drivers.
Moving out into the bleach area, John Decker from Denver, Colorado. Decker driving a Plymouth. His opponent, Houston Platt from Atlanta, Georgia. Platt driving a Ford. So it's Ford versus Chrysler in this one. They move Ford to the starting line.
Trying to wait for the smoke to clear so you can see where you're going. And you're thinking about a lot of things, you know, how to stage and how many RPMs, watching the oil pressure, and trying to figure the best place in the track, and just a lot of things to think about. Everything happens pretty fast. most of it is reflex and reaction more than, you know, thinking it out. You've got to know when to shift the car and if it's hooking up or getting loose on you and you know, keep it straight. But a lot of things happen and later they tell you that the car went a little sideways and you don't even remember because it's just, you know, natural.
Jeg Coughlin's injected A funny car faces hometown hero Ben Griffin's powerful A fuel dragster in the competition final. Griffin comes from behind to win in record time, 7.41.
Right now, 20 car time. It'll be Gene Snow, Graham Bunches, up against Diamond Jim Hannon, Mike Snively's running car.
Two pistons blow on Snow's fire red rambunctious, but he wins anyway, as Snively red lights. After frenetically replacing the two pistons he lost in the semifinal, Gene Snow is back in the final to face Mr. Red, a Barracuda-bodied machine driven by Ed McCullough. Mr. Red's two-speed refuses to shift, and Snow wins it with a 7.03.
This race will feature our defending champion car, the Hawaiian of Roland Leon from Honolulu, Hawaii, and the machine just now having its body latched down, Big John Masmanian of Whittier, California, and his driver, Richard Sarunian, who is also his nephew. The Hawaiian being driven this year by young Butch Moss of Westminster, California. And you can bet just as soon as the snows melt in the east, this team will be headed out on their annual tour, appearing at drag strips all over the United States. That's how they make their living.
I can't compete with that burnout, Steve.
You know, the burnouts really have added an awful lot to the show, not only as well as helping me elapse time. Generally, at most drag strips around the country, the funny cars will go up to the starting line and do burnouts from the starting line, sometimes almost a full quarter mile and back all the way back up again. Obviously, there's not time for that at a big meet here like the Winter Nationals.
I was about to comment that at first glance, a funny car just looks like a strange automobile. And then you see the driver sitting right dead in the middle of it, just as if it were any other type of racing machine, and you realize that it's something more than just what you'd see on the city street.
That's true, and even though there's nothing on these automobiles that's stock, not even the body, they're made out of very, very lightweight fiberglass. They're just because there's a strong product identity factor. The Chevy Ford for the Chevy funny cars, and the Ford for the Ford, and so forth. Masmanian, utilizing a Plymouth Barracuda appearing replica of a Plymouth Barracuda. Driver Richard Sarunian, strapped in. He's completed his burnouts, and he'll meet the Dodge of Roland Leon, appropriately named the Hawaiian. Inside the cockpit, you can see Butch Moss. Moss moving up very slowly. These machines utilize a two-speed transmission. They have onboard fire extinguishers and every conceivable safety device. The nitromethane fumes are very strong against the mast. An unbelievable wheel stand by Richard Sarunian. Moss blazes the tires to victory. You'll seldom see a funny car stand on the bumper like that, Tom.
Take another look at it, Steve. It is really something.
Incredible wheel stand, especially considering that the drivers think there's a lack of traction. Now, you'll see the front wheels start to go skyward. Sarunian not lifting at all. Rocks over, and it may bounce all the way up. There it goes. Almost all four wheels off the ground. It could have done some severe damage to that $20,000 car.
The funny cars coming on to the staging area, and the Blue Hawaiian coming out first, I believe. And you were saying Butch Moss, this is his first trip in this car? That is first national competition?
This is the first event in which he's competed with Roland Leon's Hawaiian. Butch was a top fuel driver, kind of an itinerant top fuel driver for a couple of years. 1 week in this car, 1 week in another car. Last year he went on the road with Tom McEwen as a mechanic. And he worked so hard, and he did so well that Don Perdome gave him a chance to drive his top fuel dragster. Butch did at the Super Nationals and was the #1 qualifier. Roland Leon took a look at that and decided that just might be the boy for my new Hawaiian, and it proved to be a wise choice.
Looks like a happy wedding between the driver and the car.
There were funny cars, and that's that.
They've got the Ram Chargers fired up.
The Ram Chargers are legendary for building more horsepower than anybody else.
The big difference and their big success has come from finally finding some reliability. They would always set low elapsed time, but the engines were like a grenade.
Hawaiian's ready.
Somebody once said that the Ramcharger's car is like a gun. They put a bullet in it, the bullet's the motor, they shoot it, they put another bullet in it. They've been known to bring a whole truckload of motors and use the motor every run. Incredible guys. Roland Leon could make it 2 in a row. He is the defending champion car owner. Roland did it here in 1966 when he won the Winter Nationals and came back the next year with a different driver and won it again.
From the way they both burned out, they appear to be ready to go.
Boy, are they ready. The burnouts are so hard that the tire smoke has even filled up the cockpit. Butch Moss may be having a little trouble seeing out of that car. Listen to that Ramcharger's motor. Just crisp and clean. Moss hanging in the back, trying to get those extra burn-ins. I would imagine that pretty soon Buster is going to make him come to the starting line.
That was probably what the owner of the car was talking to the starter about. He's got his man working a little extra hard on it.
May very well be. May prove to be a wise move. A good strong burnout can be worth 0.15 of a second sometimes.
And that just could be the difference, the way these two machines have performed.
Both cars are pre-staged. Neither driver wants to stage first. Finally, Goldstein does. Moss moves in behind him, and it's a beautiful start. What a finish!
The Hawaiian.
Roland Leon makes it 2 in a row. The first big win ever for Butch Moss, the first time he drives the car.
Boy, that is almost an Horatio Alger story.
Low elapsed time of the event for funny cars, 6.93 seconds, 212 miles per hour. Here's the replay. You just can't make them any closer than that.
Not hardly.
One
Not hardly.
car length between them at 400 feet a second.
It's a fabulous piece of machinery.
Well, it looks pretty good for a speed vehicle. I'd say it ought to get out and go.
It's really a cool looking car. I can't say too much else.
I'd love to build something like that. I got an uncle that does stuff like that too.
Oh yeah, I mean anyone would like to have one, I suppose. They're exciting, very exciting. I like the way the cars are shaped because people can identify with that car with what they drive on a normal street. I identify very well with these things and they're my favorites.
I don't know, I'd like to go out and see them tomorrow.
This is the story of Don Prudhomme and Tom McEwen, two of the best drag racers in the world. In match races, week after week, they drive what they call funny cars, 1,500 horsepower machines. They look something like what we drive in the street, but perform in an entirely different way.
This Mongoose Snake match race has been very popular for years, and that's what we're doing most of the time around the country. What we do is we'll go to a track, and of course they'll pit us against each other, which always makes for real good competition because I think he and I try harder against one another than we do against anybody else. We're good friends and everybody gets along good, but when it comes to racing, it doesn't mean as much to anybody as it does he and I. And people don't realize that a lot of times. They'll come up to you and they'll say, well, is it, how are you doing for the season? Are you even, or did he beat you, or did you beat him, or something? Or is it your turn to win? And we say, well, our turn to win. And they don't seem to realize that we practically blow the engines right out of the cars to beat each other. And you get a set amount of money to come in and make 3 runs, and it has nothing to do with whether you win or you lose. And yet he and I will destroy thousands of dollars worth of equipment and go in the hole for that day of racing just to beat the other guy. I can remember times like 5-6 years ago when we were racing dragsters only, and we had match races that we've got into predicaments where we didn't speak to each other for 2 months. I mean, it has been that bad.
Don Prudhomme and Tom McEwen have reached kind of a special plateau in this wild sport of drag racing. They've been in it long enough to feel at home in whatever they do here, wherever they happen to be racing. But they're also professional enough to know that at over 200 miles an hour, the speed they reach at the end of a quarter mile, they have to be thinking, changing, and creating something new for the cars and the way they drive them every run, every weekend. And always borrowing, jibing, heckling each other. This is the game they play.
How do you know how tight it is?
I tight it the same every week.
Just by feel?
I got torque wrench, wrong torque wrench.
No wonder you guys do so bad. What are you doing now with the strap?
Putting the safety blanket back on the transmission. It's just in case the transmission was to break or explode, the blanket contains it.
Well, bringing double A fuel dragsters here to the Rivalry Dragway, and it should be quite a show, so pop on out here.
This particular Saturday night for Don and Tom is the Mid-America Dragway at Muncie, Indiana. The sun is gone, the cars have come out to run under the lights. To make things go quicker from the start, they brush rosin over the asphalt to help the tires grab on the green light that'll send them on the way. They're both ready for the first of 3 match races.
This is your big chance, don't blow it.
It's staging time for Don and Tom.
Spectator that would ever want to know the thrill or the acceleration of a car, it's about twice as fast as a jet airplane taking off from a landing field.
It's like that, but maybe 50 times stronger. Or if you've ever been on a roller coaster, you've come to that real first bad hill, you know, that goes straight down and you think your body isn't going to stay up with it. It's something like that.
Well, there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of vibration in the car. It shakes. There's a great deal of driving involved.
Not having parachuted or free fall, a lot of guys say that that's a lot like it too.
The burnout. That's what the crowd loves. Noise and tire smoke and the fire from the engine exhaust. This is what the millions of fans at drag strips across the country come to see and to be part of. Prudhomme takes the first heat at 193 miles an hour.
Don, how did the run go? It was terrible. We're up 1,000 feet here in altitude, which I wasn't aware of. And the fuel mixture wasn't right. It ran decent, but next run will run a bunch better, because now we made a run on the motor. You know what the spark plugs look like, so we're just going to hop it up.
The second heat goes to Prudhomme at 199.
He's got about 92% nitro, and I've got about 80 in mine. And they're both rich, and his makes more fire like that. I think he does it to light his way, because he's getting to be old, and that way he can see where he's going. We may not be able to match race again if I keep beating you like this. You know that?
The Snake does it a third time and beats Tom McEwen in the noise and heat of the summer night. This is the scene that surrounds Don Prudhomme and Tom McEwen. Precision drag machines that make up a total of 8 major eliminator categories in the National Hot Rod Association, the world's largest auto racing sanctioned body. It began in 1951 and today includes top fuel and gas, funny cars, pro stocks, competition eliminators, modified, super stock, and stock. It's a nationwide pastime that draws more than 5 million spectators in a single season. Tom the Mongoose McEwen turns the tables from last night and beats Prudhomme on his first run.
John, what happened on the last run? The tire's apparently gone away. We've got too many runs on them, and the track was slippery, and the clutch was too tight. We're going to change tires, and it changed the clutch, lighten the clutch up a little bit. They're going to switch us around now and run us against two local boys, see if they can blow us off because our car's not running real good. So we'll go up and Don will run Connie Coletta, and I'll run that Super Duster Plymouth.
We unload the car off the truck and we warm it up and get it all ready for the race. Mix the fuel, whatever percentage we're going to run, like we run around 80 to 85% nitromethane and the rest methanol or alcohol. I put this fire suit, which is made out of Nomex and Kynol, which is about 5 or 6 layers. And I have special boots, special Nomex underwear. I have a padded hood that I put over my head that is like 5, 6 layers thick. And then the helmet. The face mask has a special breathing apparatus built right into it with some filters that you breathe through that keep the fumes, the nitro fumes, and also fire or anything else getting into your lungs. I bring the car up to the point my mechanic will stop me. He'll pour down the liquid traction, rosin or whatever you're using, burn out of the rosin, and go out with which is the burnout you see, which is all the smoke and everything, and that does two things. That gets the tires hot, and that also gets the rubber from the tire on the pavement, which makes the two surfaces the same, which bonds them together, which gives you better traction. Then we back up in our tracks. We come back up and we stage. Both cars get ready, and then we put out the staging lights, and you wait for your light to come on, and as soon as you see the light, then it's reaction time, and you go. And I run at about 300 or 400 feet, and I shift the car, and at the first light down there, which is the top speed light, I pull the parachute there so the car drives away from the pilot chute. And you go through the lights, then you let off the throttle, push the fuel shut-off off, turn the engine off, and if everything goes like it's supposed to, you have no problem.
Tower side will be Don Perdome, the snake. Running again, Connie Coletta in his Chrysler Towers, Logie chassis, one big body car. Clean flat motor in the shot, 6-elephant motor.
I'm very uptight, but the whole time when I get to the races, the time I pull into the gate, I get very uptight. I'm nervous. I'm scared to death always of getting beat, and I don't care who I'm racing, whether it's McEwen or anyone else. I just don't eat or nothing. It's a great deal of concentration on the lights and when to shift the car. The car has a 2-speed transmission in it, how to shift it at the right time so you don't start the tire smoking. If you overwind it, it'll start the tire smoking. There's a great deal of concentration in getting down towards the finish light. When you see the first light come up, you have 3 lights down there. As the first one comes up, you have to get ready for the chute and hit it at the right time so it blossoms, stops the car, and get the car to a safe stop.
The drivers stand idle, wiping the smog from their cars, thinking, waiting.
The funny cars of Gene Snow and John Decker.
What Ronnie Socks is to the pro stockers, Gene Snow is becoming to the funny cars. Snow blasts through his opponents and into the final. Thickening smog chokes the dying California sun. Noises, engines and voices seem far away, muffled by the strain of hundreds of races. Only 6 cars, 2 in each of 3 classes, still have a chance to win it all. It's last call for the funny car final. Gene Snow's Rambunctious against Larry Arnold's Kingfish. Both cars suffered engine damage in the semifinals, and their crews have been fighting the clock to get them ready. Kingfish's engine fails in mid-run, and Rambunctious hangs on to win.